experience you are holding as of now?
So I'm holding 3.7 years of experience as a backend developer.
Okay. So in Java side, what kind of technologies you have known?
I did not work on Java side. I worked on JavaScript.
Only Java script.
JavaScript. Yeah. Although I know Java, I have had my industrial training in Java. So,
Okay.
but
Okay. Okay. So you know C plus plus, Python, Scala, anyone you know?
I have also had the training in Python
Mm-hmm.
and C++ too. I like worked on in my BTech. So,
BTech.
my
Okay.
university.
Okay. So let's start with basics.
Okay.
So you know about Java. Java is your object-oriented programming language, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So why we are telling object-oriented programming language? Can you explain about that?
So basically, even in JavaScript, we use OOPs, object-oriented programming. So it's very systematic way, and everything is systematically like set up in one file. So basically, we have static methods and simple methods also. So we can make a class is basically a blueprint, and we can make instances to that class, like objects to that class, and that's how it's very systematic to
Yes.
understand. So for an example, if I say like we have a student class which is very generic, we don't know what kind of data in any instance should be, but we know the generic data should be name, class, roll number, and marks. So we can create a class and define the all the methods which will be needed, or all the params that we need in the constructor, and then we can create instances to that student using those methods, params, anywhere in our projects. So that's very clean way.
Okay. So what is difference between constructor and method?
So a constructor is ran whenever we create the instance to that class. Every time it runs, like initializer.
Mm-hmm.
But a method is triggered manually. So a method can be of two types, simple and static method. So static method we can call via class instance only. We don't need to create instance, sorry. We can call it on student, any student. But simple method can be called on the instance of class. So that's the difference.
So constructor is instantiation of class object, right?
Constructor is a function which is ran uh, in the initializing of that instance of class.
So what do you think about default constructor and parameterized constructor?
So default constructor does not have any parameters. So while parameterize, we can like accept the parameters while creating the instance of that class. So let's say we are one example I can think of is a student instance is created, and
Mm-hmm.
we send first name and last name. So we need to, in our backend we need to create full name. So we need first name and last name as a parameter, and then we can concatenate it then and create full name. So that's how we can use parameterized constructors.
Okay. So parameterized constructor and constructor so have some differences, right?
Mhm.
Differences. You know why we are using parameterized constructor, why we using default constructor. So
So,
you know constructor can be overload.
overloaded as in
Constructor.
we use super constructor. That's what you're asking, right?
No, no. What I am asking asking constructor can be overloaded
Mhm.
or not.
I'm not sure about that. Oh, I think I'm confused about the overloading definition actually.
So you know overloading definition,
No, not really.
overriding.
Overriding, I know, if we have super constructor or let's say we are extending some class, like parent class and child class, so we can override the parent's method or constructor using the child classes method or constructor. So that's overriding, but I'm not sure about over extended. What was that term? Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Uh, so what I am asking related to uh, actually I am asking basic because of you told me we I know the basic, that's why. So you just give the basic concept. Um, suppose uh, what is instance method and class level method? What type of method we can say is instance and what type of method can we say is class level method?
Okay. So, as I mentioned before, like there are some static methods also. So, they are class level methods. So, basically, we do not need class instance to trigger them.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are static methods. They are called static methods, and we do not need to have an instance for that.
Mm-hmm.
But instance level methods, we need instance, and then we can use that instance to trigger that instance level method, as you call it.
Mm-hmm. So how do you define instance variable and class level variable in the class? Can you give the sample of
Uh,
example?
we can use static keyword for that, right?
So static keyword for which variables we can use?
For class level.
Okay, okay, great. So you know about modifier?
Modifier as in setter, getter setter. You're asking, right?
No, Java modifier, you know?
No, I've never worked with Java modifier yet.
Modifier, public, protected, private, default.
Yeah, public protected are known. So there can be some parameters which we want to provide, like accessible to like out the class. So we can make private, public to that. So the private identifier we can use, which can be only accessed within the same class. It cannot be extended also. But
Mm-hmm.
protected one, which will be extended to their child also.
Mm-hmm.
So if we inherit the class, we can access those variable in the child. But by default, the public one is accessible anywhere. So even out the class. So that's
You know abstraction? What is
abstraction.
abstraction? Abstraction.
No, no, sorry.
Encapsulation?
Encapsulation is a method of for the functions. Wait. So yeah, I've actually read it in my university only. It was a process. Sorry, I cannot recall it. I have worked on it though. It's quite long, so I could not remember the process actually. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you just 1 minute.
sure.
So you know garbage collection?
So there are the concepts of whenever we are finished using some parameters or constants or variables, so we should clear it. So that if they are unused, we can like throw it in the garbage. So this concept is used in many languages like Java and C, C++.
Mm.
Although in I think in JavaScript it's automatic. So garbage collection is automatic in JavaScript.
Okay. So you know, finally, finalize system.gc.
No, finalize system.gc. Sorry, no.
This is the part of daemon thread. You know,
No.
what is difference between volatile and transient variables?
Volatilized and
Transient variable.
transient variables. No, I've not been familiar to this concept.
Okay. So you know C++, right?
Yeah, like in my university, I did like learn that
So what is difference between inline function and virtual function?
inline and virtual. Uh, no, I could not recall them.
What is destructor in C++?
Destructor. I think to get the variables from any function
Hmm.
is called destructuring. So that's the concept.
No, this is not the proper concept.
Okay.
Uh, how many type of instantiation of class in C++? How many way?
How many types of
How many way type? You just remove this. How
mhm,
many way we can instantiate extended to class in C++? How many way?
mm, many ways to instantiate a class? Uh,
Inheritance. Yeah, other words you can say how many types of inheritance can be used in C++.
can you like give me an example of this question? I'm unable to
You know,
grasp it.
multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so
What is a multiple inheritance in C++?
so there's this tree structure which we can imagine as like parent to child and then another to one child. So
Hmm.
this is one type, single inheritance. And then there are multiple inheritance also like a tree. So one parent can be inherited to multiple child. So that's one kind. And the third kind is also like multiple parents can inherit to single child. So that's third kind. So.
So can you give the example?
Uh, that's so. For example, uh, like that student example I just gave is one kind of that inheritance. So the student is a class which is being inherited to multiple students. So we can say it's a single parent and multiple children.
Hmm.
So that's one kind of inheritance type.
So
So,
In Python, tuple list.
tuple dictionary and list. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, three type of uh, data structures in Python.
Hmm.
So what
Hmm.
is the use of all these three data structures?
So, so it's like arrays or objects we have in JavaScript also. So the same goes for that dictionary in Python. So these data structure are mainly used for like storing the data. So we can have like some use case like we can use array to store some data, or we can use stacks or tuple or dictionary or any data. So it always depends on our use case, like what kind of use case we have. So if we want to like store students data, which is quite flexible data like class, roll number and all, so we can just store it in dictionary or objects, JSON objects, uh, for our use case.
Okay. So what is difference between array list and linked list?
So an array is like a indexed indexed data structure. So every element of an array has index. So we can access any element in O of one time complexity. So that's the advantage of array. While a linked list does not have any index, although there are two types, singly and doubly. But for a linked list, the linked list elements are connected via addresses. So first element is connected to second and then third. So that's how it goes. So we just save addresses to the next element. So we cannot access it using the index. So let's say we have to go to fourth element. So we'll have to like start a loop and go to 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what the main difference is.
Okay. And you know hash map.
Yes.
So
So a hash map.
how internal hash map work?
Uh, so hash mapping is like, let's say we have to create save some data. So we have a hashing function which should always return the same hash for the same value. So if we want to store a number, so
Hmm.
let's say the number is 30. So every time we give the number 30 to this hashing function, we should get a return the same hash. So that hash can be used as a key in object, so that key should be accessible in O of one time complexity. So that's the main advantage of that hash. So it's accessible using that key.
So you know tree map.
Yeah, I know the tree. Maps also. Yeah.
Tree map. Tree map.
Okay, tree map. No, not really. I thought you were saying separately.
Okay. So you know about uh, G2E part like that start Spring Framework or Spring Boot. Anyone you know?
Are you talking about Spring Boot? I actually did not work on it, but I know it's a, framework which we use in like with Java for development. So
Okay, but you not use. So you have used the JavaScript, right?
yeah, I worked on JavaScript and Express. So that's what
So
we
in
have used.
JavaScript, you know the Ajax.
Sorry, regex.
Ajax, Ajax.
Ajax, yeah. So Ajax request
What is
or
full form of Ajax?
full form.
Uh,
No, I don't know the full form actually. I just
but you are working in JavaScript. That's why I ask you. Ajax
oh,
is
like
asynchronous JavaScript,
okay, asynchronous, synchronous.
right? Asynchronous. Without
Yeah.
changing page, your request and response would be processed through the Ajax. You
Hmm.
know?
Ajax request. Yeah, yeah.
Suppose you have a page, you
Hmm.
have drop down, you want to change some select one value to another value, so same page or data will be changed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is asynchronous. So JavaScript is a static validation or dynamic validation it provides.
It's dynamic actually.
How?
So the we can like have many types. So let's say we are using let or var. So even the const. So if we are define like
Because JavaScript is a front-end programming language, no have
not really like JavaScript is also used in backend. So
backend
like
also.
we're using Node.js also. So
Node.js, right? But you
yes.
telling about JavaScript, that's why I asked you.
No, like even I work on Node.js, so I use JavaScript for the backend development
But
as well.
okay, okay.
Yes, yes.
So you thought you actually in the beginning I have asked to you what kind of things you have. You told me completely as a JavaScript. That's why I told you.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, as per your expectation we will ask. So on Node.js, why we are using Node.js? What is the advantage of Node.js?
So basically, as you said, like JavaScript was a like front end develop was initially created for front end development.
Hmm.
But let's say there are some developers who were working on both front end and back end. So they needed to learn two different languages to just to work back and forth, like Java for backend and for front end JavaScript. So for this main reason, they had like Node.js, created Node.js. So Node.js is a framework which can be used in backend. So in backend, we can use Node.js to code backend in JavaScript only. So that's the main advantage. And also we have like asynchronous nature. So we can use thread pools and event loop in JavaScript for scalable backend development.
So you know the DOM.
Yeah, like in websites, we use like DOM object for manipulation of the web pages and all.
So what is use of this DOM?
So DOM provides us many methods like console, local storage, web APIs, hitting web APIs, fetch and all. So DOM is like a parent to that.
You know the event just like on click, on blur.
Yeah.
So what is
Yeah.
difference between these two events? Blur and on click.
On click and what is the second one?
Blur, BLUR.
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 Blue or
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you can say the blur.
okay. So on click, which so on web page,
Hmm.
whenever we set up the on click event, so with mouse, if we like click somewhere, so that event is triggered. So we can do anything in that callback. So on blur, I haven't used blur as of now.
Blur means whatever you writing, search you look the Google.
Mm-hmm.
In Google, you something writing automatically data is blur. Data is presenting
Okay. Okay. On blur.
without any click, without any
Um,
enter.
oh,
This is
okay.
work of blur.
On blur.
This is the blur event.
Hmm. Sure, I'll search for it. Thank you.
Uh, you know database.
Yeah, yeah. I have worked on MongoDB, also MySQL indirectly. So,
So what is difference between MongoDB and SQL? Means MySQL database.
so both have like different. Both are of different types. So mainly the main difference between SQL and non-SQL database, which is Mongo. So that was non-SQL database as Mongo are mainly used for if we want to say flexible data. So flexible data are preferred to be saved in MongoDB, but the strict data of same types are preferred to be used in MySQL SQL database, so like MySQL.
So it means you want to say uh, MongoDB data can be stored any structured data means HTML format, JSON format, XML format.
JSON format, not HTML. I don't think HTML is an
HTML
acceptable
is HTML you can put. Why you
as
can't
a
put?
string.
Yeah, you can put because of suppose you want provide the security features in your web
Mhm.
page. So that is a
Mhm.
better idea. Since you handle the
Mhm.
backend, no one can break your HTML, your just like your scripting, Ajax, all kind of events. No one can be cheat.
Okay.
So so MongoDB is a semi-structured database or structured data.
It's semi-structured, like it's flexible.